How's it guys, this is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about the Game Week 21 team selection, as well as taking a look at how the squad got on in Game Week 20. We're going to look at our transfer plan, and finally our captaincy and our team selection that hopefully should get us a green arrow in Game Week 21. So that's something you're interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So before we go into the Game Week 20 review, I just wanted to let you guys know I am recording this on Thursday evening, so just before that Liverpool vs Spurs fixture, so the rank is probably going to take a drop due to myself not owning Son or Kane, so I'm just kind of hoping that those two don't bang and that Salah can do a good job against that Spurs backline. But I will update you guys in the Deadline with Dayvy live stream if we do have one for Game Week 21, so you don't have to worry about that one too much. So 65 points for Game Week 20, saw a rise in rank to just about that 200k mark, so about that 250k mark right now, which was actually quite a big green arrow, I think about 100k places, and that was mainly due to the Man City option. So the transfer this week was Kevin De Bruyne out and Gundogan in. So that transfer right now looks like an absolute steal there considering how cheap Gundogan is, but it's just going to kind of determine how Son does against Liverpool because he was my other alternative option. So I think for the future game weeks, Gundogan can hopefully keep up this form. He's in the absolute form of his life right now, and if Man City can keep on scoring 6 goals against their opponents, I will be quite a happy FPL manager. But Heung-min Son's also a good option for the upcoming game week, so if you look at the transfer plan later on in the video, we also talk about potential ways to bring in the Spurs midfielder. So starting off on goal, we have Fabianski. I'll also be talking about Sufalia, and I'll also be talking about Souček. So the absolute elephant in the room there. A lovely 15 points on the bench. I'm pretty sure that Salah will be playing tonight, so unfortunately those 15 points will be on the bench. But Fabianski and Soufal, I was kind of going for the double up in defense because I wanted to play the odds here. If Fabianski was going to get a clean sheet, I wanted Soufal to kind of combo him, but unfortunately West Ham go and concede in I think about the first 10 minutes, and then they concede in the last minute. I think it was the 97th minute or anything like that, and then that goal cost us 2 points. So Fabianski and Soufal not getting us a clean sheet here, and then it's kind of the hindsight of starting Soufal instead of Souček that looks like it could actually cost us a green arrow this game week. We'll then be moving on to some greener pastures there with a lovely 17 points from CANCELO, then with Diaz with just the clean sheet, but I'm going to always take those 6 points no matter what it was. These upcoming fixtures for Man City are really good from a defensive point of view, so I was just kind of happy that CANCELO went on an absolute mayhem. An absolute banger from CANCELO. He assisted, got a goal and a clean sheet, I do believe, and then also racked up bonus points naturally. It was quite a hectic bonus point debate though, because Gundogan performed well, Sterling performed well, but 17 points is always going to be welcome. And then finally Dallas, I honestly thought that Leeds had the potential to keep a clean sheet against Newcastle. I think the stats were also on their side, but unfortunately that wasn't the case, and then also no attacking returns. So the interesting thing about Dallas is in the lineup, he was rumored to be playing in that centre mid position. Now I don't know if he actually played in that centre mid position or they just played a 5 at the back, but it's always nice to have an out of position defender if need be. But from Leeds, from an attacking point of view, Rafinha was the main outlet with a lovely 13 points, so I really would have loved if Souček was to combo them, because then I would have had 13, 14 and 15 points. The odd one out in the midfield is going to be Bruno Fernandes. I mean, what happened with Manchester United versus Sheffield United? Quite an unpredictable result there. First in the Premier League, losing to last in the Premier League, but you can see not even I predicted that, as I went for the Bruno Fernandes captain, and unfortunately it only got 2 points. If you look at the vice captain there, it would have been a really nice game week maybe if Fernandes was given the night off, would have had Souček off the bench, CANCELO vice captain. I mean, I would have been an absolute dream lad, but in FPL I think I might have used some of my luck up for this season. That might have been too lucky of a scenario to happen. So with Salah just kind of hoping that he does something. Then we have Gundogan with 2 goals. I was so happy that I opted for him. If you went for Sterling, I think that you're going to be perfectly happy as well. The nice thing with Sterling as well is that if you did have him, you probably captained him, and that would have been a great captaincy option considering that Bruno Fernandes only scored 2 points. So Gundogan, as I said, just hoping that he can continue this form in the absolute form of his life, and at 5 odd million, I mean, who cares what he does, just as long as he gets the alternative return, I'm going to be happy. We've already spoken about Rafinha with a lovely 13 points. I mean, I'm always going to take that from the Leeds midfielder, and he's also quite cheap. This was basically the game week of the cheap midfielders. Saka also performed quite well, so if you owned the trio of them, I mean, you would have been absolutely laughing with a massive points haul, but unfortunately that didn't continue to the front line. So Bamford Bamford was taken off in the 59th minute, which was a little bit surprising, but apparently he wasn't playing that well, and the manager wanted to kind of get him off the field and get an alternative on. Hopefully that doesn't continue into the future game weeks. I'm pretty sure that he is the main striker, so he definitely will start on the next one. It's just a bit worrying that the manager is so willing to hook players off if they're not performing well, because it doesn't kind of give them a chance. Maybe in the last couple minutes of the game, Bamford would have had a better chance, or maybe a big chance, and then he could have made up for the mistakes he made in the game. But when you're off at 59 minutes, it doesn't give you that much opportunity towards the end of the game. We then have Ollie Watkins with a goal. So the thing that annoys me so much about Ollie Watkins is that he scores, but he never gets bonus points. I think that just comes down to the fact that he does miss a couple of big chances, and he hits a couple of shots that he should hit on target, off target, and that kind of nails him in the bonus point category. So only the 6 points from him, considering that he did score. And then on the bench, nothing much to talk about there except for Souček's 15 points. Was happy that I benched Justin and Adam, so that was the correct decision, but I got it really wrong with Souček, and I probably should have played him over Sufal with hindsight. So now going on to some transfers that I am considering, so don't worry too much. I know you're probably looking at the screen and thinking, what am I absolutely doing? I'm taking 4 players to 5 players, but that's not the case. These are the 4 players that I'm considering taking out. It's got a trio of Leeds there. I just think with the Leeds fixtures toughening up a bit, and they haven't really been in the best of form recently, I am considering taking 1 or 2 Leeds options out for players with better fixtures. So the main consideration that I am looking at is going to be Rafinha and Che Adams out for Heung-min Son and Calvert-Lewin. So I can afford these 2 transfers. That would be a from -4 hit. But Calvert-Lewin, we spoke about him in the Game Week 21 preview, has good fixtures, and I'm just hoping that he can rebound off this bad form that he's been in. And then with Heung-min Son, just such a high-owned player, almost a bit of security there, and they do face Brighton up next, where he could be a captaincy option for my own squad. So Che Adams, Rafinha to potentially Son and Calvert-Lewin is the main talking point that I am looking at. Then if I wanted to bring in Harry Kane, I couldn't really afford the players that I wanted as an alternative in midfield. So I then would have to shift Bamford out for Kane, and then I could bring Harvey Barnes in for Rafinha. So I could afford Harvey Barnes at 0.2 million, and with those lovely Leicester fixtures coming up, I think that he still could be quite a nice option. So Kane, Barnes, or Son, Calvert-Lewin is kind of the debate that I am in currently, and I still might like to own Bamford, because Leeds just get so many attacking opportunities against any side, because that's just their style of play. They're just such an attacking side, and I would probably have Bamford over Rafinha. I know on current form you probably wouldn't say that, but I just think that Bamford's more of a talisman in that lineup, so that's why I kind of favor Bamford over Rafinha. The other alternative option that I have been looking at is Dallas to Lucas Digne. So we spoke about Digne in the Game Week 21 preview, just come back from this medium-term injury, so I think that he should be back in that lineup for most of the game. Seems to be raring to go. The nice thing is that he was actually playing in midfield, or more of a back 5 system, but I think with Doucouré and Allen coming back from injury, he probably will be shifted to his natural fullback position. But with those Everton fixtures coming up, I do think from a defensive point of view and from an attacking point of view, Lucas Digne could be quite a nice alternative. And with all that money that I've got from Kevin De Bruyne, I think that I might look to upgrade one of the defensive options. And unfortunately, that's going to be Dallas. From a defensive point of view, Leeds are absolutely nowhere. I can see them conceding to basically any side they play, and I don't really like that, because with a defender, their main point source should always be clean sheets, and I just don't see those for Leeds. So these are the options that I have been considering. I think it basically is going to come down to Son, Calvert-Lewin, or Harry Kane and Harvey Barnes. I think I might leave the Lucas Digne transfer unless I want to take a -4, but with my current bench setup, which you'll see shortly, I think I kind of have the luxury of some good rotation options off the bench. So talking about that Game Week 21 team selection, here it is. I have not made any transfers yet, so whatever transfers I make, they all come straight into the lineup, and they'll probably just swap out for whoever is in my starting 11. So starting off in goal, we've gone for Johnston. Happy that I went for Johnston, because actually rotates really nicely with Fabianski. West Bromwich Albion have 2 nice fixtures coming up, and then I can kind of rotate them with Fabianski when those West Ham fixtures get a little bit better. And then the rest of the defense, we've got Cancelo, Diaz, Justin. I think that kind of picks itself this game week. I'm not going to play Sufal against Liverpool. I'm not going to play Dallas against Leicester, as I think those are 2 attacking sides that probably will score. And then I also have the captaincy on Cancelo right now, so that could be quite a shock for you guys if you didn't watch the Game Week 21 preview. But we went over that Man City game, and I am expecting a comfortable win for Man City against Sheffield United. And I think from an attacking point of view, Sheffield United won't get anywhere, and that's why I really am favoring this Cancelo pick, because from an attacking point of view, he's in better form right now. Finally got his assist and a goal in the last game week, So I'm expecting that to continue. The only thing with Cancelo is the rotation risk. So as far as I know, Walker, Zinchenko, Mendy are all back from injury, so they should be able to rotate in that lineup, and it's not as cut and dry as Game Week 20. So Game Week 20, he was rested in the double game week, so we were expecting him to play. This game week, we don't have any insight into that, and the last thing I want is Cancelo to be benched and then for him to come off the bench for a lovely one-point appearance. Also with Diaz, maybe he's more of an assured option. I could look at him, but the player I'm looking at from a captaincy point of view is going to be Salah. So this all kind of depends on how Liverpool play against Spurs tonight. So as I said, I am recording this on Thursday evening, so apologies for that, but I have to pre-record this video. So if Salah plays well against Spurs, I will really be comfortable with captaining him against West Ham, because Liverpool versus West Ham has always kind of historically been a good game, and I think from an attacking point of view, Liverpool should get at least a goal, and then hopefully Salah manages to return. Fernandes against Arsenal could be an option if you want to go for him. I might be just a little bit salty after that captaincy blank in Game Week 20, but United versus Arsenal could go either way, and I mean Arsenal have been playing better defensively, so that game, as I said, could go either way, so I might not risk it on Fernandes right now. Then Gundogan against Sheffield United could be also an option that you want to go for. Some people have been arguing that if Gundogan was an 11 million midfielder, we would 100% be captaining him, and just because he is a little bit cheaper, a lot of people don't want to captain him. So Gundogan could also be a nice option there. I mean, he's in great form, in the form of his life, as we've always mentioned, so I could look at him, but I am just swaying it a little bit because I can kind of see that game being a little bit tight, and I don't know if Gundogan is going to be getting as much space as he did in the previous game week. And then Rafinha and Bamford, not going to talk about them too much, along with Che Adams, because these players could be on the way out. Basically just Ollie Watkins left there against Southampton. Now Southampton have actually been in bad form. I think in the last couple game weeks, it's only been Liverpool that they have beaten, so I think that Aston Villa could get a goal against them, and I'm just basically hoping that Ollie Watkins can continue this consecutive returns of goals that he's had over these past 2 game weeks. On the bench, I am benching Souček, so if you do have him in your starting lineup, he's probably going to score. The thing I am worried about against Liverpool is that Liverpool's defense is all over the place, and they have been quite vulnerable to a heading threat, and that's basically exactly what Souček brings. He's an absolute heading monster, so I could maybe look at starting him, but I just don't know who I would bench out of the starting 11. And then Dallas and Sufal I've already mentioned, and then also Fabianski has the same fixture against Liverpool, so I'm more comfortable playing Johnston against Fulham than I am Fabianski against Liverpool. So this is basically a wrap up the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new. I have not subscribed yet. I'll be hopefully checking you guys for a Game Week 21 deadline stream, but if I don't, you can also catch me on Twitter at Dayvy FPL. I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.